All right, welcome everybody. This is Coach Mario here. We are breaking down some of the plays that we had this weekend. I just picked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips for us to watch. It's going to be really important for us to just kind of take the feedback and grow from it as we keep playing this tournament. I have high expectations for you guys, and I think you should too. Just from what I saw during the weekend, I think we have a good chance of making the final. But I'm really excited for us to continue playing. We have, I believe, Washington Rush is the next opponent, and we have much to work on. But we're going to talk about it in practice as well. But I want you guys to watch the video. This is going to be an important thing for you to grow. Okay, so we're going to start with the first clip here. This is early in the game, and this is the backline organization that I want to talk about here, because look at what's happening here. Now, when we are out of possession in a throw-in, we don't need to have anybody here. So Yoshi was here just kind of waiting on this ball here. I don't need him to be here. I don't care if they pass back. I need you just kind of waiting around the half line. We're basically guarding the ball on our side. If they have the ball here, I don't care. But what happens here is we open up the space for them to pass into this area, and then we don't have anybody to just kind of defend. So not really worried about having anyone here when the whole play is going this way. You can tell by the body language of the player here that ball is going straight down the line. So let's look at the play here real quick. So first thing that I'm looking at is what I talked to you guys about during practice and in the last video that I made for you. I really like how the team is looking very compact and shifted on this side of the field. Just kind of what we talked about, right? So having that numerical superiority with just having more players around this area when the play is here. So I really like Anders was playing left back, and look at it, he's like almost in the center channel. He's pretty much in the center channel of the field, just kind of shifting the whole team this way. One thing I did not like is Malcolm is way too forward. When we're out of possession, you need to be with your line. So that pretty much forced Bowden to come out and cover for him here. This is Malcolm's guy right here, not Bowden's. Bowden was playing center back on this side, but that forced them to come out and kind of press on that play. Let's look at it. Bowden's pretty much 2v1 in that part, and Malcolm did not recognize what happened here. So yeah, so when we're here, let's go back and look at it. Look at where the throw-in is happening right here. Why is Bowden here? This is Eric's guy. So Eric's playing center mid in this area right here. He's the one that needs to come out and press. That also forces, you can tell, Jackson kind of pointing that way. He recognized that play very well. Jaden needs to come back a little bit more here. We're not worried about these guys. We're more worried about this area right here. So this makes Jaden shift this way, Eric shift this way, and then Malcolm needs to be with his back line, in line with the back line. That means look at Anders, look at Eli. So Elias here is doing a really good job. And then Bowden is kind of not with this line either, kind of covering this guy. We don't need to do that. Just wait here. Again, Malcolm needs to be here, because then that's forcing Bowden to come out and cover this guy. So Malcolm, just keep with your line when you're playing with a line of 4. Just when we're out of possession in a play like this, where the ball's pretty much coming down the line, you need to be here. This is your guy. So again, if the ball comes here, this is Eric's guy. He recognized that, and then you can see Jaden shifting back as well. But really liking overall how everyone is pretty tight in here, kind of keeping that way. We'll talk about this as well. You saw Malcolm jumping for the ball there, but aerial duels are going to be something we're going to look at as well. So let's go ahead and look at the next play. All right, so we're going to look at this aerial challenge and overlap situation that did not happen. But let's look at this play. All right, ball comes back this way. Emilio clears it really well. He recognizes that pressure from the top. Bowden's clearing, misses, but then gets lucky. Once Jaden gets his ball here, you notice how everybody is now shifting together and stepping up together. All right, so we cleared this ball here. This aerial challenge here is important. When the ball's coming straight down to you, you need to jump up and challenge the other player in the air. I don't care that you're shorter. You need to be jumping up to fight for that ball. So those 50-50 balls in the air, you 100% need to jump up and try to head that ball, okay? If you wait down like this, you're going to lose that challenge, okay? So this guy, fortunately for us, this guy didn't have anybody around. Send the ball this way, and then it ends in Bowden's feet. Jaden gets the ball here. Once he has that ball, we talked about the overlaps as well. Malcolm, you need to be making this run here. Why? Look at how the team, everybody, look at the body language. Everybody's stepping up. Everybody's going forward. You need to offer that option, that extra option, that extra channel on the outside right wing channel for an extra weapon in attack. All right? So what happens here is Jaden gets the ball. He goes forward. You need to be running, making this run here. Overlap, overlap, overlap. You yell overlap, and then you offer that extra. So fullbacks, you're probably going to be the guy running the most. Again, and I've said this before in different videos, and I've said it at training, but you're going to be the guy running up and down the field. When we're out of possession, I want you with your back line. When we're in possession, you jump up here. You step up here, and then you offer an extra weapon in attack. Okay. That's pretty self-explanatory, short clip. We are going to move to the next one. We're going to talk about this build out here. Malcolm, not to pick on you again, but okay, so we've talked about this in the different exercises that we've done during build out. So we are playing it short. We don't have, a ton of pressure. This guy's pretty much not putting any pressure here. Emilio recognizes he has the two center backs right next to him. Everybody looks good. Anders is nice and wide, just how we talked, how we like that. Spreading out the field, but then Malcolm is too tucked in, too compact. When we're when we're in possession and we're building out from the back, you need to get wide. You need to be here in this area right here where you are offering that extra pass for you to move forward, okay? It's not happening. So what happens here is we get lucky. So Emilio has the ball here. He passes into Bowden. Bowden sees the pressure, so he gets rid of the ball quick. We lose the possession, all right? Why? What happened here? So as soon as Emilio makes this pass, this guy's making the run to put some pressure here. Really smart play by the striker. Bowden recognizes he has a guy really close and then passes into Malcolm. Malcolm now has the pressure of two guys running towards him. He kind of panics a little bit, passes into the middle here, loses the possession. I never want to see that. I never want to see in this type of environment here where we're pretty much 4v4. We have four guys, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow, 4 black right here. You never want to put yourself in that situation where you could give up the possession and all of a sudden we're in trouble. So fortunately for us, this team wasn't able to capitalize on it. But when you get the ball here, you need to be here so you can make the pass over here. Now you see Jaden checking in here. It's a lot easier to make this pass into Jaden right here if you're wide, or play it down the line if you have no other option. You just send it down the line, okay? I don't want to see this pass here into the middle. These guys recognize the play. We give up the possession. He was onside, and we get lucky here. That really good effort by Eric, recognizing that and getting that slight tackle in there to get the ball out from danger. But again, we need to be wide. If you're a fullback and we're building out from the back, you need to get wide. So get wide. Let the center backs start here. That's totally fine where they're starting right here deep. If you're building out from the back, you get wide, and then if you need to check or drop back as well, you do that as well. It is the responsibility of one of your midfielders to check in at that point and offer the support. So again, the whole team shifting. If you get the ball on this side, the whole team shifts this way. Okay. So again, Jaden recognizes that. He checks in here. He's offering an option, but again, we lose the ball. So if you were wide here, Malcolm, you can make that pass either into Yoshi right here checking in, or into Jaden here checking in. Instead, we passed it into the middle and gave up possession. Puts the team in a really dangerous position. Okay, a pickle. Don't do that. All right, next play. Moving on here, we're going to look at Jaden's goal here on a positive note. I think, overall, the team looked really good. We were organized for the most part. Some things that we need to work on, and, that happens. There's always going to be things that we can improve. But overall, the team looked really organized. And, unfortunately, we gave up a goal in the last minute of the game pretty much. But I was proud of the effort overall. I think we dominated possession. Unfortunately, we were not able to capitalize on some attacking plays where we should have scored, but that's the game. You got to play it. All right, let's look at this play here, because this is a thing of beauty. This is Jaden's goal right here. Eric gets the ball. Henry puts some pressure. Eric makes the pass into Jackson. Jackson passes back, and I love it. I love it. Woo! Screamer from Jaden. Jaden, this needs to be in your college submission when you're applying for colleges, because this is a total screamer. You should definitely show it to Coach Docs and Samba as well. But what a thing of beauty here. Screamer. Total screamer. Look at this. Ooh. Strikes that ball. Crazy. All right. Well, that's a beautiful goal. Props to you, Jaden. That was a thing of beauty. Next play we're going to look at here is FME attack. We talked about this. We talked about how a lot of these teams in club soccer, in America, they just have no plan. There's no build out. There's no possession game where they're playing short passes or playing organized. A lot of the attack that you're going to get from these teams is long balls down the field. Why? Because they have one or two guys that are really strong and really fast up top, and they're counting on that to become a race, leave our center backs behind, and get into the goal. So you're going to see that a lot. You're going to see it pretty much every game. That's just going to be one thing that's going to happen over and over and over with this team. So they get the ball here. Long ball again. There's no build out. He got a long ball from here. This winger here checks in and gets the ball. Or I don't know if he's a winger or midfielder. I don't know. But he gets the ball. And boom, sends it again. You see, we talked about this, how Bowden is pretty much next to this guy. When he strikes the ball, he's not offside. So he strikes it right. He might have been slightly offside, but ARs are not going to call that. So at that point, when you're here, if he makes this pass correctly, this diagonal pass into here, we are cooked. All right. So you cannot do that. You need to give him a little bit of respect, knowing especially when these guys are really fast. Bowden thankfully recognized the play, and this guy didn't make a good pass. It was kind of like a really high ball up in the air, and that gave Bowden the position to kind of adjust his body and then, recognize the play and clear it away. So he gets in there. Bowden clears it with his head. But again, there's not a lot from these guys. That was all game long, just long balls into the strikers and the wingers, or through balls whenever they could. But we recognized it, and I said it at the beginning of the game. Do not get caught in a position where you're right next to the striker. If they're facing that way, and you're facing this way, of course it's going to take you longer to turn around and then race with them. At that point, they're gone. Okay, so we need to recognize this for all the games, and then just adjust your body, adjust the distance between you and the striker. making sure that that doesn't happen and ends up in a race, because that's going to be the most dangerous play that we can get. All right, next play. Sorry, this is taking a little long. We're going to look at the set piece. We had a few different set pieces. So again, a lot of being good in the game. So there's a lot of training that we're going to have, and we're going to, improve our technique, and we're going to improve some, team strategy as well, such as like the building out from the back and things like that. But there's a lot of things that happen in the game that you can only improve by recognizing the game. And these things are something that we can only work on each game, and you can only get it by playing more and more. So here we're looking at Eli with a set piece from this area around here, around the 30-yard line. But look at me walking towards Eli right here. This is Eli. I'm talking to Eli, and I tell him, put it in the 6-yard box. Why? Because I had recognized as a coach that this goalkeeper here was not only short, but he was really struggling with the aerial balls, and he was spilling pretty much every single one. So what happens? You send a high ball here into this 6-yard box. He's pretty much going to for sure spill the ball. At that point, what do we do? What do we do when we have the keeper here? Well, make him uncomfortable. Get in his way. Make him uncomfortable. Just make sure that you're onside, but get closer. Then get closer right next to these guys. Step in there. You got I don't know who's in here right next to this guy, but he's right next to he's, for whatever reason, he's with the defender instead of being like over here open for it, right? You get Eli here making this play. Oh, it's Thomas. So you get Thomas right here with this guy. Don't need to do that. Get in front of the keeper right here. Make him uncomfortable. Unfortunately, Gus was not able to get to that ball. He kind of waited for it to go past the keeper. Don't wait for that ball to go past the keeper. Pretty much get in front of the keeper. Make him uncomfortable. Make him spill that ball. He didn't have anybody next to him, and he still spilled the ball. What that means is we should have been waiting for that rebound right next to him. All right, so recognizing those plays when they happen, recognizing patterns in the game is important. So, again, when that happens, we get this ball over here. I'm talking to Eli, and I tell him put him in the 6-yard box. Everybody should be recognizing the pattern with the keeper. He's going to spill the ball. We're going to go wait for that rebound at that point, okay? Next thing. Last one here. That last clip. Sorry to make this so long, guys. FME goal. What happened here? We had been dominating all game, and this was really heartbreaking because this was not only a must-win situation for us with this game, but unfortunately we did not recognize the momentum by FME. I was over here pretty much screaming at everybody and telling them, get back, track back, and everybody needs to put pressure on. We saw the momentum. These guys are really stepping on the gas, and we did not recognize it. We're instead, last 2 minutes of the game, I'm screaming last 2 minutes or whatever, last minute of the game, and what we should have been doing was just sending long balls the other way. I appreciate you guys wanting to build out, but this is part of clock management. You just waste as much time as you can. You get that ball, just send it down the field, and then have the whole team step back into their own half. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that at training as well. But look at this. We have unders right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have, I think this is Gus here. Gus was playing right back again. This situation right here, when it goes into the final third in that left wing channel, the guy pressing here needs to be the fullback, not the center back. So what happens here? The whole team's shifting. Bowden goes in here, Eli goes in here, Anders goes in here, and all of a sudden we lost the guy in the middle. Why? Because center back is going and pressing in here. That is not his job. It is the job of the fullback. So again, Gus should have been here. Anyway, that ball, he gets lucky. He gets two guys here. I think this is Eric here pressing. Gus did not recognize this guy moving forward here. Now he steps back a little bit more. At that point, you get that ball there, Send it down the field. You get that ball in the last minute of the game. You recognize the pressure. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players from FME in our own half. 9 players. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. The whole team should have been back here. So striker, not waiting for a ball here. We're not trying to score at this point. We're trying to manage the clock. Yoshi and this is Johannes here, should have been over here helping the whole team defend. At that point, you get this ball here. Send it down the field. Send it down the field. Clock management. This was the last 120 seconds of the game, guys. It was crazy. We just cannot allow that to happen here. And I'm screaming over here, do not allow that ball in. Once he gets this ball here. All right, that was a poor clearance from Eric here. Again, Bowden's making a pass as well. Gus was not ready for that pass. Now these guys got the ball. And they recognize here, boom, everybody stepping forward from FME. They get the ball, send it over here. They're just the what is that? Like, what is that? The effort needed to be 100 times higher. Legs were gone, and I recognize, we are not ready for a 90-minute game. This was the last 10 minutes of the game, and legs were gone. People were not giving me the effort this required. And at this point, like, what kind of challenge is that? Look at that. Put your leg in there. Put your leg in there real hard. Make them feel like they're actually getting challenged. But, we put our leg in there and then we take it away like we're scared of the guy. We cannot be doing that. You need to have 100% effort in that moment, in that situation. The momentum was FME. They're in our own half. Game's almost over. Everybody needs to be stepping back there to defend, and it just did not happen. So once they get this ball here, he recognizes the play. We have the whole team shifted this way. They have 3 guys on this side. 1, 2, 3. We're outnumbered at that point, okay? So the play's over here. Everybody shifted this way. This guy recognizes the play. My 2 defensive mids are over here. They were where they were supposed to be. That's not really their fault, but this ball unfortunately gets this way. This guy's wide open. I don't think these guys were expecting these 2 guys to let the ball through. I think that's what happened. So these 2 guys. So our defense is not expecting. Our defense is not expecting these 2 guys to let the ball through. And once that ball gets in there, we had no idea. Boom, he hits it straight down. First time, I tell you guys all the time to hit those balls first time. When you're shooting, we always seem to want to stop the ball and then get comfortable. This guy didn't do that. He just hit it first time and got a goal. So again, we need to recognize the patterns during these final moments of the game. This is when you step on the gas. This is when you give me 100% effort. This is where you just play with your heart. This is when the legs are gone, but the heart keeps going, and you just gotta recognize the pattern. You gotta recognize these moments in the game and give me 100% effort. It just did not happen. Legs were gone. I don't know. We got just the focus was gone, and we just needed 100% concentration in this moment, and it just did not happen. So the other team had the momentum. They capitalized on that. They took advantage of that moment, and they got their goal. That's probably the only shot they had on goal all game. Really unfortunate. We gave up that goal 120 seconds before the last whistle, and it was really heartbreaking. But this is hopefully something we can grow from. This is hopefully something we can learn from and just do better in the future. So again, we're going to be working on endurance on Tuesday. We're going to be just doing everything possible to get back in shape. Now, one day a week for endurance, for conditioning work is not enough. You guys need to be doing some stuff on your own as well. Even though you're not at practice, the rest of the days, we're only training Tuesdays and Thursdays, you need to be doing some stuff on your own to stay in shape. When we get to Sunday and I see you panting or with your hands on your hips like you're really tired, you're gonna be out. You're gonna be taken out. I'm gonna have a sub go in. So, at this point, I think the whole team was just kind of lost the focus, and legs were gone. And I get it. I've been in that place, and it's really hard. But again, on Tuesday we're gonna be working on condition and endurance. Thursday we're gonna refine some of those moments from the game and do a little bit more tactical training. So I'll see you guys at training. If you have any questions, please bring them to training, and we'll talk about it there as well. But overall, again, good work. I think the team was disciplined and organized for the most part, and we really saw the domination, the dominant performance by the team. And I'm proud of you guys either way. But we always have things to work on. Let's improve together. Thanks. Peace.